Yeah, man, Onyx, man, this is a really tough question, but man, I can think of one. I could probably think of one. Ah, man, this is tough. Cap? No, I wouldn't change Cap's history. I love the way they did Cap's origin. I like the fact that yeah, they made him. He's the scrawny little boy and becomes a hero. Scrawny man becomes the top hero like that. Oh man, this is a tough question, Onyx. Uh, maybe other people can answer this one, but I'm stoked, and I'm sorry. I'm really sorry that I couldn't answer it, but I really wanted to. That I tried. I really tried to figure out somebody. Uh, okay, maybe Hank Pym in a way. I don't and not his origin, but just his character. That whole Ant-Man thing was lame to me. As here in some eyes, heroes that can shrink is kind of crappy to me. And all he can do is talk to ants and things. I'm sorry, but that's about personality wise. Um. Mm, I can't think of nobody. I'm sorry, Onyx. I'm really sorry, bro. I'm really sorry. Um. Next question is from Wolverine 121496. He asked me a question. He says, "What do you think is better, older or new comics?" He says, "Because I like old, I will never buy new comic." Now this was kind of crazy um, because I was really trying to figure out what the question was. Are you trying to say that you like the classics more than the newer? But the problem with that is, bruh, is how are you gonna know what's going on with your favorite hero today? You gotta keep updated on it, right? You gotta know what's going on. You can't just like read something back in 1990 and then figure out, okay, that's probably still going on. But if you're trying to say you buy back issues more than new comics, still that's still a problem. You still gotta get it's still, even if you find a back issue comic that came out in 2006 or so, and let's say Green Lantern for example, and you won't know what's going on now, and you start reading that issue, and that's a new story, and then you're gonna be like, whoa, wow, this was really good. I wonder if there's more to it. So you see what I mean? You understand? Like, that's kind of crazy, because, for example, a lot of people stopped reading Hulk, but when Peter David and Greg Parks got on and started writing World War Hulk and Planet Hulk and things like that, people criticized that as the greatest Hulk story arc ever. You see what I'm talking about? So that's kind of a weird question, bro. It was. It's really funny, but to answer your question, I like both. I will constantly read my classics in my collection as well as read new ones. I can't see myself not buying a new comic. I'm sorry. Next question is from Deadpoolzilla. Good people here again. Getting to know this guy pretty well as well. And he says, "Yo, kid, have you heard the rumor that Sephiroth or Sephiroth it will be in Soul Calibur 5? Also, what character would you like to see in the Soul Calibur series instead of Sephiroth?" For me, he says for him, it would be Ash from Evil Dead. Deadpool, yes I have. I have heard they want to have Sephiroth in the next Soul Calibur. And you know what I think probably they could do, even though he's under Square Enix, they had no problem putting Link's in the game. They had no problem putting Spawn in the games. So I think, yeah, that'd be cool. It would be cool to see him with his big ass long sword. And since this is uh, a weapons fighter game, as for Sephiroth, gotta be my man Cloud. Gotta have Cloud in it. Got to have Cloud. I may be going on a loop here, but I would love to see Kenshin Himura, the Battle Sai, the manslayer himself from Rurouni Kenshin in it. Hiten Mitsurugi style versus Mitsurugi himself. You know, I would love to see this. So those are definitely. Ash would be cool too with his boomstick and his chainsaw hand. That'd be cool too. I got no problem with that either. But those are two. Cloud and Kenshin from Rurouni Kenshin. So definitely that. He says also, he got another question. He says, what comic versus game crossover would you like to see to happen? I mean, because we've already seen M.V.K versus DC Universe, Marvel versus Capcom, things like that. Maybe, well, it would probably never happen, but maybe all together, you know, like maybe a four-way, you know what I'm saying? Like Marvel versus DC versus M.V.K versus Capcom, you know, something like that be cool. Or hell, even make, you know, there's some people from Wildstorm that would be cool, or Image would be cool. You know what I'm saying? There's some possibilities there, but those are some things I would like to see. He says also, from one comic reader to another, what does it take for a comic book reader to find someone for him or her? The way I looked at it, the way I viewed it was like this. In my eyes, can you relate to this character? You know, hence Spider-Man is somebody I can relate to. When you read along with this guy, do you want this guy to, or woman, to succeed in conquesting over the villain? Personality is cool too, you know. Can you see this yourself? Maybe, in my eyes, this is how I look at it. Like I said, realism is cool to me, even sometimes not. Can I see myself really sitting down and talking to this guy or woman and really getting up a good conversation and not being able to hide its past, things like that. But realism is very important to me. But just, and signs of weakness. I love heroes that got weaknesses, that they have a weakness and they try to succeed over that weakness. You know, also heroes that, you know, have loved ones in their lives. They're fighting for something. You know, there's some heroes that aren't very close to their family. You know, but those are some things I find myself to find somebody. Cap, I love because he's not just that he represents his country to the fullest, but he's a born leader and he's very easy to get along with. You know, Bruce, because, you know, in my eyes, I know what it's like to lose family members, loved ones like that, but not in that manner of speaking. I've never seen any of my family die in front of me or basically get shot in front of me, things like that. I can't relate to Superman in some way because I'm not from another planet, you know, and it was kind of easy for me to fit in with the world, but I still like him. He's still cool, but I just think sometimes he's way too powerful, you know, and I can't rely on somebody. I can't get into too much of his, you know, comics, because most of the time he always has to go up against somebody that is at his strength. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's ever stronger than him in some ways. Doomsday, maybe Darkseid, but other than that, his rogue gallery of villains are like to him. You know, that's why I enjoyed the animated series of Superman better, because it made him more human. Even if he got shot with a bullet, a high caliber bullet, you know, he still and you know, things like that. It was still gave him a little more humanity to him. So that was cool. Got a question, and I think he's been wanting to ask this. He's been waiting for the answer for this for a long time. Another good friend of mine from the Windy City, Zip Block. And he asks me, he says, what film has made you cry